yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience for your love with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration, beat in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. They fit their disease. Just like a weed. I'm telling you, Mother Nature, she's cold in Jersey, then she's warm in Jersey. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's unbelievable. 55 degrees and raining here on December 28th here on the East Coast. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I fucking hate the rain. Absolutely hate the rain. But regardless of that, you can obviously see that we're going to get down to the nitty, the gritty, the down and the dirty. And everybody knows that, ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to a very special edition Thursday stream, as we are streaming live across 4 different platforms, across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different accounts. And we are getting set to talk some pro wrestling on Thursday, because this is the final rundown of 2023. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the Best Damn X, formerly known as Twitter, handle Stop what you're doing, everybody. I need you to take a big inhale with me, and I want you to go, oh. Do it again. You got to do it again. You got to feel it. You got to go, oh. One more time. Oh, shit. Do you smell that? Do you know what that is? I think a lot of people in the chat know what that is. She had to jump out. It's unbelievable. She had to jump out because she could not handle it. She could not handle the smell of pure excellence. It's unbelievable. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Well, listen, we're going to bring back the comb. We're going to bring back the comb, James. Okay? We will. What's going on? Did your phone lose power? Come on. Did your phone lose power or not? What? I know. Sarah, yeah, there we go. She's coming back. Don't worry. She's coming back. Are you all right? Are you good?
No, it wanted me to log in and that scared me.
Trust me, I know. Listen, the smell of pure excellence is very, very, very powerful. Not a lot of people can handle it. Trust me, I know. But this is the official rundown for AEW Worlds End 2023, which of course is streaming live on all pay-per-view platforms this Saturday from Long Island, with the pre-show starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And my guest with me today for the very first time ever on the stream, the very first time ever on the rundown, and hopefully we get to see her more in 2024. She is a very good friend of mine, big supporter of mine, very, very, very wonderful human being, and I'm very, very happy to have her on the show with me today. Please help me welcome Miss Hannah. How are you doing tonight?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. Work went quick today. Got to talk some pro wrestling, and we're going to have a fun time. We're always going to have a fun time here on the DJ Storms channel. Because guess what? Everyone needs me in their life. I make people's lives better. That's just what I do. That's just what I do. But I would like to get your thoughts regarding the overall card for World's End. And we're going to get into the specifics here in just a little bit. But what are your thoughts on the overall build? What are your overall thoughts on the card in general? And how do you think that AEW is going to close out 2023? Do you think that this card will be that shot of adrenaline that they need going into 2024?
I have a feeling they're gonna, just like the other pay-per-view, they're gonna end this year with like maybe a surprise.
All right. Well, with that being said, who do you think the devil is? Do we get the revelation of the devil? Because at this rate, they gotta reveal the devil.
I have a feeling it's Jack Perry.
You have a feeling it's Jack Perry, really? I'm sticking with Adam Cole. I honestly believe that Adam Cole's injuries will work. I'm sticking with Adam Cole. We'll have to put some money on that. But before we get into these God, I can't speak today. Before we get into the specifics here, where can everybody find you on social media?
They can find me on X or Twitter at Cobain's Allen. You can find me on Instagram at Cobain's Allen. And if you want my Facebook, then DM me.
Go check her out. She's a big Natalya fan. She's always marking out over Natalya. It is what it is.
Guilty.
Ladies and gentlemen, go and check her out on social media. Please, you will not regret it. Of course, you can check me out on social media, whether it be on X or Instagram, at HistoryMakerDJS. Once again, at HistoryMakerDJS, because all I do is make history, both on X and Instagram. You can also add me on my personal Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver at gmail.com, like the official DJ Storms business page. And I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook, which we are live on right now. All of those links are in the description. Go and check me out on Rumble. We're live on Rumble right now. Rumble is really becoming my second home. I'm really liking what I've been doing on Rumble. The last stream that we did, it did almost 400 views on Rumble. And I've only been on Rumble for about 2 months, so that's pretty major. On top of that,
impressive.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. I don't know why I didn't go on Rumble years ago. On top of that, please make sure you hit the like button, whether you're watching on Rumble or X or YouTube or Facebook. Show some love because I'm live, and when I'm live, it's always a good time. Hannah's with me for the very first time ever, so we got to get as many people watching because we want to show Hannah some love over here. So please hit the like button no matter where you're watching it from, and share it out on all platforms of social media, whether it be Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest or Tumblr or Snapchat or TikTok or Twitch. I'm running out of breath over here. It is absolutely ridiculous. Please make sure you share it out to as many people as possible. And got to make sure, check out some of my sponsorships. Check out Brittany K. Brittany K, she does beautifully crafted designs from scratch on her iPad of all sorts of pro wrestlers. Go and check her out. Her X is Brittany K5150. Wow, her Instagram is Brittany K Designs. On top of that, please make sure you go check out Corporate Information System. They are one of America's best recruiting firms, according to Forbes. They specialize in providing seamless and stress-free experiences for both clients and candidates. So, if you guys are looking to advance your career, go and check out my friends at CIS. Their website, www.cisrecruiters.com. One more time, www.cisrecruiters.com. And then on top of that, you got to make sure, whether you're watching on my YouTube channel or the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, and this is the most important part right here. Hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you're going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, it is the best time to be on YouTube. And do you know why? I'll tell you why. Because it's the only time that you are going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Hold on. first time you're going to experience this, oh yeah, it's this beautifully crafted magical ace black comb, and we're going to let it up right here on the final rundown of 2023 with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like hot, fresh, baked chicken cutlet right out of the oven with a side of mac and cheese, I am just so good. I am tasty. I'm the tastiest snack in the IWC, and everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. Anyway, why don't we move on? Let's get to the festivities here. I actually put out some polls. To let the people decide the best of 2023. So we're actually going to go to those polls right now. We're going to take a look at the results, and then me and Hannah are going to give our own opinions on that. I put out various polls, including the male wrestler of the year, the female wrestler of the year, the most shocking moment of the year, the worst feud of the year, the pay-per-view of the year, and we're going to go over it all. So why don't we start off with the male wrestler of the year? It was quite a landslide, actually. I'm not going to lie. So the 4 participants were MJF, Gunther, Will Ospreay, and Orange Cassidy, and Gunther won with 57% of the votes. Hannah, what do you have to say to that? Do you think that Gunther was the correct winner here, or do you think that someone else should have been the winner?
Out of those choices, I thought Gunther was a good choice because, like, ever since he's been in NXT UK when he first started out, he's been impressive until he's got to the main roster. But my thought is I would have went with Christian Cage because he really stepped up ever since he won that TNT championship. He's really made his heel gimmick like worth some money to be watching.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would have gone with MJF, but I cannot blame the people for choosing Gunther, only because of the fact that Gunther has had an absolutely exceptional year. Even in 2022, when he won the Intercontinental Championship, he made that championship mean something. This is the most important that the title has felt in years. If anything, I have said it myself, and I believe I saw a tweet related to this. Someone tweeted, I can't remember who it was. Someone tweeted that Gunther, and what he is, Gunther is what WWE acts like Roman Reigns is, and I can't lie about that. That's the truth. Gunther is the real tribal chief. Fuck Roman Reigns. Gunther is the real tribal chief, so I cannot blame people for choosing Gunther. If it was up to me, I would have picked MJF, only because MJF is the best world champion in the business, but I will not blame the people for choosing Gunther because, again, Gunther is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Female Wrestler of the Year. The choices were Athena, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Toni Storm. Rhea Ripley won with 57% of the votes. I'm gonna throw it out there. Rhea Ripley is not the Female Wrestler of the Year. The Female Wrestler of the Year is Athena. Athena is the Female Wrestler of the Year. Athena is absolutely killing it as the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. I don't give a shit when anyone says, no matter if people say, oh, who watches Ring of Honor or her. I don't give a shit. Rhea Ripley is living off of 2 moments and 2 moments only. She won the Royal Rumble after drawing number 1, and she had a fantastic match with Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Outside of those 2 things, her title reign has sucked. And that's not on her. I am not blaming Rhea Ripley. It is all on creative because the WWE Women's Division is absolutely terrible. But Rhea Ripley as the wrestler, yeah, I know. Rhea Ripley is the Wrestler of the Year. Female, no. That's Athena. Athena's better than Roman. Athena's been having a better title reign than Roman. Athena's legitimately been she's the best that she's ever been in her entire career. But yet people want to choose Rhea Ripley just because she posts thirst traps of her ass. Ridiculous. I mean, tell me when I'm telling lies. But let me hear your thoughts, Hannah. Who should have been Female Wrestler of the Year?
I picked Athena out of what?
You feeling 80?
No.
You're
No problem. Don't worry.
Okay. Anyways, I picked Athena out of those choices. Because, hey, I've seen Ring of Honor. It's not like, oh, I don't know what I'm watching. But she's been impressive, really, in her title reign. Like, no women's wrestler, and I'm not saying it just because, in Ring of Honor can really top that title reign from Athena.
Oh,
But
yeah. I don't
my
think anyone.
thoughts on Female Wrestler of the Year, you can disagree with me all you want. I picked Sky Blue because of her different gimmick changes. Like, she went from one, this Chicago hometown girl, just a wrestler. And now that she's like going to that dark side, like heel gimmick with Julia Hart, she's really been stepping it up in the women's division.
I can't. I can see where you're coming from there. If I was to pick Sky Blue for something, I definitely put her on the list of being one of the breakout stars of the year.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I definitely throw her on there for being one of the breakout stars of the year. But for me, I'm still going with Athena only because of the fact that she has been easily the most consistent women's wrestler throughout the entire year, whether it be on Ring of Honor, Impact, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, it doesn't matter. Let's go to Tag Team of the Year. Choices were FTR, the Usos, the Young Bucks, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And the winners were FTR. And this was absolutely deserved. FTR, two-time winners of Tag Team of the Year for 2022 and 2023. FTR has had a fantastic year. And if anything, if you're going to base FTR's year on anything, all you need to do is go back to July 15th, 2023, and watch that 1 hour, 2 out of 3 falls match between FTR and Bullet Club Gold. That's all you need. That right there was easily the best tag team match that we've seen in pro wrestling since, ironically, DIY versus FTR when they were the Revival down in NXT.
That was a good match.
FTR, easily Tag Team of the Year. What about you? Agree or disagree?
That was a good... I'll agree because that was a good match, but FTR, yeah, you can tell ever since WWE and now them being in AEW, there's been a whole lot of changes. But for me, if I had to pick tag team, I'm gonna go with the Rascals and Impact. Not because, of the year, they went, ever since Zachary Wentz got released, he's been going from indie to indie, and then when he returned to Impact, he's been making a big deal over himself, and now that they've won the tag team titles.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can see that. It's actually a little disappointing because Impact has a great roster, but their management team is so bad. Like their promotional skills and their management team, it's so terrible. They could be something if they really want to.
They could. That's I was looking forward to when they started doing that little storyline with Deonna Purrazzo and Gail Kim when they was first, doing a little teaser of that, and then they stopped. I'm like, I would pay money to see this.
I know, right? It's unbelievable. And they do have a great women's division. That I will say.
Hey, Deonna Purrazzo is going to be a free agent in 2024, so.
Tony Khan better pick her up. Deonna Purrazzo, hey, she's a Jersey girl. She's a Jersey girl, so I got to support my Jersey girls. Faction of the year. Choices are House of Black, Judgment Day, Blackpool Combat Club, and the Elite. The Judgment Day won this with an over whopping 72% of the votes. And to be quite honest with you, I really could not blame anyone for choosing the Judgment Day. Now, up until September, I would say House of Black was the faction of the year. But in between September and December, I would say the Judgment Day really rose up the rankings. What with Dominic Mysterio becoming the NXT North American champion and Finn Balor and Damian Priest, they became the tag team champions. So I cannot really fault anyone for choosing the Judgment Day because they have been pretty prominent over the course of the last several months. And I expect another big year for them in 2023. And I really do hope that Priest doesn't fail in his cash-in because that right there, that would really devalue him and the Money in the Bank briefcase. But I will say I cannot blame the audience for choosing the Judgment Day because the last 4 months, they have been virtually running Monday Night Raw. That's not just a catchphrase. That's exactly what they've been doing. What about you, Hannah? What do you say?
I had a tie between Judgment Day and House of Black because, like I said, I've been watching more AEW. Like, don't get me wrong, I still watch WWE, but ever since they keep showing Judgment Day over and over, it's just like tired loop you're tired of seeing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I would say House of Black because you've seen where they started from. Like some was in WWE, now they're in AEW having their own different gimmicks. But I'm gonna go with House of Black.
I do hope that they win the tag team titles for sure. I really do hope that they win the tag team titles, and I'm looking forward to the match with House of Black and FTR. I'm really looking forward to that. I believe they should confirm that for Saturday's show. I don't know why they didn't. Let's move on here. Let's move on to breakout star of the year: Sky Blue, Swerve Strickland, LA Knight, and Bronson Reed. And if you can believe this,
between this one.
If you can believe this, the audience tied here with 48% of the votes to 48% of the votes. LA Knight and Swerve Strickland both tied. I wasn't expecting it, and it's actually pretty shocking to me. It really is pretty shocking to me. But if I'm going to go with breakout star of the year, I'm going to go with LA Knight. And I'm going with LA Knight specifically because of the fact that he overcame shit booking. He was booked like a loser for months and months and months. And he was booked like a loser for so long, but yet the crowd continued to get behind him, and they continued to get behind him, and they continued to get behind him. So much so that WWE had no choice but to push him. It was almost, I don't want to say identical, but it was very, very close to what happened with Daniel Bryan and the Yes Movement. Like, Daniel Bryan was shafted, he was disrespected, undervalued, but yet the crowd reaction was just so loud for Bryan Danielson that WWE had no choice but to push him. And that's exactly what happened here with LA Knight. Swerve Strickland, listen, I think we all know how good Swerve is. I don't think Swerve has had any problem breaking out. All Swerve Strickland needed was some time on TV. But LA Knight and the fact that he overcame shit booking, I'm going to give the edge to LA Knight. That's just me. What about you?
You mentioned the overcoming, like the crowd. My mind went to of Karrion Kross when they gave him that one gimmick where he came in like all the red armor.
Yeah,
like no one liked that. Even I didn't like it. And then whenever he got released, he come back. The crowd loved him. That's what my mind thought when you mentioned LA Knight and overcoming. But I'm going back to my Sky Blue moment. I'm talking about her as the breakout star. I could see where you're coming from with LA Knight. And the fact that, hey, I've seen it, how he gets booked. Sometimes it's terrible. And now he's actually earning the respect from the crowd.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that in 2024 we finally see LA Knight win a championship? I mean, to me, we have to. We have to. It's got to be LA Knight, Logan Paul, WrestleMania, LA Knight wins. Yeah. That's got to be it. Let's move on to our next category. Match of the year. Match of the year. We got Drew McIntyre versus Gunther versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental title, WrestleMania Night 2. Swerve Strickland versus Adam Page 2 at Full Gear, Texas Death Match. MJF versus Bryan Danielson, 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship at Revolution. And Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay 2 for the IWGP United States Championship at AEW Forbidden Door. I was a little shocked by this, but again, to a certain extent, I can't really blame them, but I would have probably gone with Omega versus Ospreay, but the triple threat match for the IC title ended up winning. So it was Drew, Gunther, and Sheamus that ended up winning with 60% of the vote. I'm kind of torn on this because this match is on my top 10, and I'm going to reveal my top 10 on Saturday for the LFU. But to me, I still would have gone with Omega and Ospreay Part 2. But what about you?
I would have picked Swerve and Hangman Page Full Gear because I'm still watching this match to this day because I don't care about the criticism. Those two went to hell and back doing that match. You can say what you
Strickland did a
want.
450 on Adam Page with
He
glass on
did.
his back. Who the fuck does that?
So did Adam Page. And he's been in these Texas death matches before.
Yeah.
Swerve, not so much, but you can tell Heyman has the experience. Like he already has the mindset on how these Texas death matches work. But I was surprised at the end when before he won. I'm like, but I can still watch that match to this day, and I just love it.
And Swerve Strickland, man, his stock continues to rise.
It's crazy.
His stock continues to rise, and it is a great thing. That's what I love about what AEW is doing with Swerve Strickland.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing. Let's go to our next category here. Worst match of the year. Worst match of the year. We got Ruby Soho versus Hikaru Shida from back in October on AEW TV. We got Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar Part 3 at Elimination Chamber. We got Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar Part 2 at Night of Champions. And then we got Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey MMA rules match at SummerSlam. And rightfully so, Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey won with 42% of the votes for worst match of the year. I don't know who the fuck thought that match was a good match. I don't know who the fuck thought that the stipulation was a good idea. That should have been a fight pit match. That should have been a fight pit match, bar none. No arguments right there. Oh, by the way, James Punaseca says Omega Ospreay 2 should have been match of the year. I mean, I showed you that match. You saw that match. I'm telling you. I got him back into wrestling. I got James Punaseca back into wrestling. It's a great thing to see. But Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, absolutely fucking terrible match. Should not have taken place. It was downright embarrassing. Downright embarrassing. And you know what's even more embarrassing? The fact that they haven't done anything with Shayna Baszler since then. Shayna Baszler should be the one to take down Rhea Ripley. I would have had Shayna Baszler beat Rhea Ripley back in November.
Yeah, if they have this Shayna Baszler from NXT, she would dominate Rhea Ripley.
I know. Shayna Baszler was doing Rhea Ripley before Rhea Ripley was even doing Rhea Ripley.
Basically.
It's unbelievable. I would like to believe that you agree on this one, right?
Yes.
Promotion of the year. WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Impact. This is where the WWE shills start coming out of the woodworks. WWE won with 65% of the votes. Listen, I understand that Triple H has done a great job at resurrecting interest in the WWE product. And let me tell you this. The last several months of WWE TV has been very good. That much I will say, especially Raw. But did anyone watch WWE TV between April and August? The show sucked.
I haven't.
Exactly. And I don't blame you. The show's fucking sucked. I have to watch because I got to take all these fucking notes so I can tell people what's going on. But if anyone watched WWE between April and August, the show's fucking sucked. Listen, I understand that AEW's got a lot of things that they need to work out, and I already ranted on that, and I'm going to rant on that in a little bit too when we talk about the Chris Jericho situation. But when it comes down to it all, AEW TV has not been bad this year. I don't know where this negative stigma is coming from. I really don't know where all of this hatred for AEW is coming from.
I can see that too. Like
it's unbelievable.
People make your mind up. AEW, WWE, which one you gonna hate?
Listen, can AEW get more structure? Yes, because the shows are not as structured as they should be, and I already ranted on that. Can they get better promotional skills to hype up their shows a bit more? Yes. Could they be better in putting certain feuds on certain shows and making their weekly TV feel more important? Yes. But if you're going to tell me that AEW's done more bad than good this year, clearly you're out of your fucking mind and you're clearly not watching the show. I really don't know where this is coming from. Listen, I understand you're excited for the future, but WWE TV, half this year was horrible. AEW has not had an extended period of time where they've had bad TV. We've had lackluster TV. We've had plenty of lackluster shows from Tony Khan this year. Don't get me wrong. Lack of structure, bad promotion, I get it. But if you're going to tell me they've been terrible shows, were you watching WWE between April and August, or are you just going based off of the last 4 months? That's what pisses me off. Do you have anything to add?
Some people they act like they know everything about wrestling, and then when they haven't watched them, like you said, these past 4 months, they're like, oh, this happened, but yet this happened. Oh, don't forget this happened. Like, where have you been? It's been right there. You could have been watching it, but no.
And by the way, it continues. The stupidity continues. Best weekly show.
I've seen hate on Impact. I'm like, I know it could be better, but like, what is there to hate about it?
Listen. The hatred towards Impact is much different. The problem with Impact isn't towards their roster. It's because of their terrible, terrible management. Impact is a great roster, but they need better management, and they do not have good promotional skills. Matter of fact, Impact probably has the worst managerial team in the industry right now, and they have very bad creative. That's the problem with Impact. It is what it is. But best weekly show, there were 3 choices: Raw, Dynamite, and Collision. Monday Night Raw ended up just winning with 50% of the votes compared to 49% for Dynamite, or 45% for Dynamite, and 5% for Collision. Again, I really don't get it. Were you watching Raw between April and August? It's exhausting. Trust me. It's shit like this, Hannah. It's shit like this that makes me not want to do this anymore, so I don't have to deal with the fucking stupidity.
I get what you mean.
I swear. And then to top it all off, worst weekly show of the week, the choices were Rampage, SmackDown, and NXT. Rampage ended up winning for worst weekly show of the week. So here's what I'm going to say. We really need to put this narrative to bed that Rampage is a bad show. Rampage is not bad. The problem with Rampage is the fact that it's oversaturated. There shouldn't be 4 matches on Rampage. It's oversaturated, and on top of that, they have not done enough to make Rampage feel important. So it's oversaturated, there's no structure, and the storylines on Rampage, there's barely any on Rampage to make it feel important. That's the problem with Rampage. But to say it's a bad show, clearly you don't know what the fuck you're watching, because half the time, the matches on Rampage are better than some of the matches that we see on Raw and SmackDown. And on top of that, do you even watch NXT? I don't blame you if you don't, because NXT, that's the worst show in the industry. It's worse than Impact. It's legit worse than it. NXT is god fucking awful. How many people, and I'm sorry to keep on ranting like this, but how many people can name a decent feud in NXT this year minus Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov and whatever Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams are doing? Outside of that, the only time that people actually give a shit about NXT is when they bring in The Undertaker for no fucking reason, or they bring in John Cena for no fucking reason. Or CM Punk, or fucking Asuka to fight Roxanne Perez, or they bring in fucking Paul Heyman out of the blue to manage Braun Breaker when it doesn't make any fucking sense.
It don't. Like, stick your mind with, like, do this and this, don't do this, and then all the way over here.
It's exhausting. I'm telling you, it is fucking exhausting.
I can tell. That's like, I like I like what they're doing with Cora Jade. Like how they're you're making me not talk now. This bad girl resident of NXT. That was a mouthful. But I like what they're doing with Cora.
Listen. You're doing a lot better than a lot of first-time guests on here, so I will give you a lot of credit there. And I don't know if you can try and get fucking Taylor to watch this shit. I know Taylor's a big fan of you. Swear to God.
Oh, if anyone wants to feel old,
are you coming on my show or not?
Oh, if anyone wants to feel old, I seen this yesterday. I've been watching this show since 2019 in my freshman year of high school. Now I'm graduated, so if anyone wants to feel old, there you go.
Well, you know what? That shows you right there that being a loyal fan, it has its perks, because now she's on my show and she's speaking her mind about pro wrestling, and that's what I like to do. I've had this shit since I graduated from high school. I started this shit immediately when I graduated. And you know what? I have had the time of my life doing this shit. I'm 24. I'm going to be 25 in April. 25, baby. So let's move on and let's talk about the best feud of the year. The best feud of the year. Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline. The Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland. And the Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio. So those are the four. So I'm really, 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 really hoping that we do get some more good feuds in 2024. Sami Zayn and the Bloodline won, and that I can't blame him. Simply because of the fact that Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, that is easily been the best storyline that WWE has done probably since Daniel Bryan and the Yes Movement. So I can't really blame them. But it is what it is there. I would have liked to have seen Hangman and Swerve win, but I don't blame them because Sami Zayn and the Bloodline and what that storyline did for professional wrestling, I mean, it speaks volumes. It really did. It really does speak volumes. Sami Zayn was a made man after that program. But let me hear what you got to say.
I liked the Hangman and Swerve because I've watched their promos, their segments. They really built it up, especially when I love the part when Swerve broke into Hangman's house. Like that added extra fuel to the fire. But my favorite feud, despite that one, is I just had it in my head.
What, regarding Page and Strickland?
No, the other match I had in mind.
Dominic versus Rey Mysterio?
No, it wasn't on that one. No, Christian Cage and Darby Allin. They had a good feud, which I liked. And not just saying, no, I'm a fan of both of them, but I liked that feud. Especially when Christian had Darby lose in his hometown. I thought that was kind of the funny part.
I will say this. I wouldn't call that the feud of the year, but I would say that was probably the most underrated program of the year.
Yeah, underrated.
Especially the main event. Especially the main event at Wrestle Dream. James Puniseka, if you have not, you need to watch the Texas Death Match between Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. You will not regret it. It was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, but warning, there's blood.
Let's talk about the worst feud of the year. This one pissed me off too. Worst feud of the year. Chase U versus Schism. Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. The AEW Originals versus the Outcasts. And Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. I don't know why the fuck people picked the Originals versus the Outcasts. Because if anything, again, did you watch Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus? Did you watch how shit that feud was? Or how about this? How about this? How about the fact that we still haven't gotten an explanation as to why Brock Lesnar even attacked Cody Rhodes and they had their feud for 4 fucking months? Oh my God.
Oh, hey, Dee's in the chat. Hi.
Thank you very much for stopping on by, Dee. I greatly appreciate you. She's been a loyal supporter.
Interruption. Go on.
No, it's fine. No, I would like to hear what you have to say because I quite frankly have done a lot of ranting. I'm going to do more ranting on the Chris Jericho situation, so I may as well save my breath.
We're aware. Worst feud, I'm with you on this one. The worst feud, Becky and Trish, because Trish just came out of nowhere, like no explanation, no, oh hey, I'm coming back to WWE and doing this. No, she just came out of nowhere. Like at least give us an explanation first.
What about the fact that Trish Stratus cut horrible promos?
She did. Like, if you watch, back in the, Attitude Era, when, Trish Stratus was the women's WWE champion, she cut good promos back then, but now, hey, I get it, she's older, but I also didn't like the Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes, because that led to absolutely nowhere.
No direction. And by the way, Cody Rhodes, the only match that Cody Rhodes has had that's been memorable since his loss to Roman, and we're going to talk about that later, is his match with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. After that, what did they do with Cody following that match? They did nothing. They sent him into a 4-month feud with the fucking Judgment Day.
I liked his feud with Seth Rollins, Cody, and Seth. Because that was like whenever Seth would come out, which I cannot remember which match it was, but he came out in the Dusty Hell in a Cell. He came out in the Dusty Rhodes polka dots, and I thought that, like I said earlier, that added fire to the fuel. Like Seth kept it interesting.
Let's go talk about the best pay-per-view of the year. WrestleMania, Backlash, All In, and Forbidden Door. WrestleMania won this with 41% of the votes. I would say WrestleMania is number 2. All In is number 1. But WrestleMania, listen, I can understand why people went with WrestleMania, specifically because of the fact that you take a look at the match quality that we got on WrestleMania. From a match quality standpoint, that may have been one of the best WrestleManias that we've ever seen. I cannot remember a time where we've seen matches on WrestleMania's card that have been that good. And we got a lot of really good matches. If Cody beat Roman, I would say WrestleMania was number 1. If Cody beat Roman. Worst pay-per-view of the year: Royal Rumble, NXT Great American Bash, NXT Stand and Deliver, and SummerSlam. SummerSlam won this. I was actually a little shocked that SummerSlam was the worst one of the year. I would probably put that one as number 2 as well. Maybe number 3. The worst show of the year for me was the Rumble. The Rumble this year, my God, that Rumble this year was horrible. At least with SummerSlam, we had a handful of decent matches. We had Rollins and Balor. We had LA Knight winning the Battle Royal. We had Drew and Gunther. We had Logan Paul and Ricochet. We had Cody and Lesnar. So we did get some decent stuff on SummerSlam's card. But the Rumble, I can't remember anything good that happened on the Rumble outside of Sami Zayn turning on the Bloodline.
I like that.
But what about you? What was your worst show of the year?
I'll have to agree with you with SummerSlam because, like I said, with how you mentioned the Rumble, what I like about the Rumble is if they don't have a good card, then I'll pay attention to the actual Royal Rumbles themselves. And if those are terrible, then, well, I'm not watching that again. But
I'm certainly not watching them again.
SummerSlam is the worst pay-per-view.
And we got our final category, the most shocking moment of the year. Number 1, Cody's beaten by Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. 2, CM Punk is fired from AEW. 3, Adam Copeland debuts at AEW at WrestleDream. And 4, Jade Cargill signs with WWE. And the winner, Roman Reigns beats Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Absolutely the most shocking moment of the year. Everyone and their mother.
Pissed off tweets on that.
Yeah, I know. I'm still fucking pissed off. And let me tell you something. Listen, they're going to tell a great story at WrestleMania. I fully expect them to run it back at WrestleMania. They're going to tell a great story. They're going to have a great match. But my gripe is that it's not going to feel as important as it would have felt if Cody beat Roman this year at WrestleMania. And ultimately, it's going to feel flat. That's the problem that I have. That has been my major problem this entire time. The problem is it's not going to feel as big as it should feel, specifically because of the fact that Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes right now are worse off than they were going into WrestleMania. Going into WrestleMania, that should have been the end. And then on top of that, Roman Reigns and his title reign has fucking sucked. Like, following WrestleMania, they have done nothing with Roman Reigns and his title reign. And it honestly pisses me off.
That's like Seth Rollins has defended his title more than Roman Reigns has. Hell, even Athena, she's defended it more than Roman Reigns.
Exactly, yeah. Athena, Rollins, and Gunther have all upstaged Roman. All of them have upstaged Roman this year. It's unbelievable. But those are the DJ Storms year-end awards for 2023. Thank you very much for casting your vote. And before we get into World's End, let's talk about the incident that took place on Twitter on Christmas, nonetheless. I don't even know why the fuck this happened. Let me take a sip of my ice water. Give me a minute.
He's gonna get a taste of that fresh ice water.
Are you trying to steal my gimmick now?
Nope.
So, it came out that Stephen P. New, and I didn't even, and this is his actual name, Stephen P. New, who is the lawyer of CM Punk and Ace Steel, he stated on Wrestling with Rip Rogers that Punk and Steel signed NDAs for life. This pertains to the brawl-out scenario that took place in Chicago back at All Out in 2022. However, it was stated that Ace Steel's wife, Lucy, never signed the agreement. Stephen New is also affiliated with Jim Cornette, which came into play a little bit later. Chris Jericho, he came out on X at 4:30 a.m. in the morning on Christmas, the wee hours of Christmas, and he quote tweeted a report regarding the NDAs on X, and he stated, and I quote, "I didn't sign one, ... Stephen New then responded by saying, "It's in your employee handbook. Unless you have a special one, we can figure it out." Jericho then took to social media and he just decided to he decided to open up the floodgates here. Chris Jericho responded by saying, "Hey, Stephen P. New, I don't adhere to any employee handbook and have never had one in 4 years of working for AEW. I've also never signed an NDA in my life, ever. So Steve, stop trying to be a bully and making egotistical fantasy brags for your clients and start doing some research before you make blanket statements about your buddies, because I saw everything that night, including how Lucy and her husband and best buddy acted and what really went down. And since I was in the room and watching her and everyone else the whole time, I know exactly what really happened. Considering you weren't there and I was, maybe you should shut your mark ass up, because what really happened was disgusting." End quote. So that was Chris Jericho's long-winded rant regarding Stephen P. New. God, what a fucking name. And after that, Jim Cornette decided to jump in. Jim Cornette stated, and I quote, "God, Chris, it's Xmas. Slap Tony's dick out of your mouth. You've got his dad's money the next 10 years, and the Buckaroos will still let you play with the cool kids. You don't have to tell the truth. Just quit lying. Punk is sorry he made a difference in AEW business, and you haven't." So, I got a lot of shit to say about this. But I'm going to ask you, Hannah, do you want to say your piece first, or do you want me to say my piece?
I've seen it, and then, I've seen it all blow up. I'm like, well, it's just basically another wrestler saying their thoughts of people getting mad about it. Just like what they always do. So basically what I did after I seen it was I just kept scrolling. I really didn't have any thought about it. I'm like, he's just saying what he has to say, and people are getting mad about it.
Yeah, I can imagine you don't really care. I don't really care either, but see, here's the thing. Let's start with Jim Cornette. First of all, if Jim Cornette would have stopped at "God, Chris, it's Xmas," maybe he would have been passable with his statement. But he went into this long-winded rant, and he goes, "Slap Tony's dick out of your mouth. You've got his dad's money for the next 10 years, and the Buckaroos will still let you play with the cool kids." Let me tell you something. If anyone takes Jim Cornette seriously, you have a serious mental fucking issue. Jim Cornette is an out-of-touch old fart. The guy has absolutely zero credibility. He has zero clout. He makes a living off of sucking WWE cock and shitting on AEW just for the sake of shitting on AEW. Jim Cornette has absolutely zero clout. He has zero clout, and no one should take him seriously. And on top of that, Jim Cornette, he doesn't have a leg to stand on, because Jim Cornette has been making blank statements about AEW for the longest time. And to say that Jericho has not made a difference in AEW business, I mean, are you out of your fucking mind? Punk is not a draw. Like, no one's a draw. Nobody is a draw in today's wrestling world. It's not about one guy. It's about the overall show. But to say Chris Jericho has not made a difference in AEW business, without Chris Jericho, there is no AEW. Because Chris Jericho was the first ever AEW World Champion. Punk didn't come in and become the AEW World Champion out of the gate. Punk wasn't the first AEW World Champion. Now, Punk may have been the most notable name that they signed, but without Chris Jericho setting the foundation as World Champion, we would have never had Kenny Omega winning the World Championship. We would have never had Jon Moxley coming on into AEW. We would have never had Hangman Adam Page finishing his story and winning the World Championship. MJF would not have the opportunity to go on this great world title reign that he's been going on. So to say Chris Jericho hasn't made a difference in AEW business, that just goes to show you that Jim Cornette is a fucking moron. That just goes to show you that Jim Cornette, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Jim Cornette is a fucking cancer in the IWC, and he needs to be taken out, extracted, and removed completely. He does not deserve a platform. However, what Chris Jericho did, I mean, come on, that was fucking embarrassing. Chris, you know what Chris Jericho did? Take a look at what AEW's been doing coming out of Full Gear. The shows coming out of Full Gear for AEW have been great. The Continental Classic has been putting on some of the best wrestling that we've seen all year. The Continental Classic has been the best tournament in wrestling since the Cruiserweight Classic back in 2016. The Continental Classic has given AEW a shot of adrenaline that it's needed for so long. And you take a look at everything else that's been going on. You got MJF and the Devil. You got Samoa Joe mixed up into this. Adam Cole's probably going to be revealed as the Devil. You got Andrade and Miro coming up at World's End. You got a whole pay-per-view. You got a whole pay-per-view on Saturday, a pay-per-view in which AEW, everyone in AEW, should be on the same page of ending 2023 with a bang and going into 2024 with the best mentality possible to fix the problems that they have, get the company back on track, and you got all this negative stigma, this unnecessary, unjustified negative stigma around AEW, and Chris Jericho, all Chris Jericho did was pour fuel onto the fire. Even though Chris Jericho may be right, even though Stephen New may be an asshole, even though CM Punk and Ace Steel may be assholes, there's no reason why Jericho needed to do this, because all Chris Jericho did was take the spotlight away from Miro and Andrade. He took it away from the Continental Classic. He took it away from Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. He took it away from MJF and Samoa Joe. He took it away from the Devil. He took it away from World's End, and he put all the attention on a scenario that happened 16 months ago. Why did he need to do that? And on Christmas, nonetheless. On Christmas, nonetheless. Exactly. It does not make sense. I don't know if he was bored. I don't know if he was fucking drunk. But what happened was fucking embarrassing. There's no need for that.
Like, he could have let it happen on any day of the week. Hell, even let it happen on January 1st. But yet, he'd probably think, oh, hey, I'm going to choose violence Christmas Day. Who knows what he was thinking.
It shouldn't have happened at all. What happened with the brawl-out situation, that should be a situation where we shouldn't be talking about it. That's a situation that we need to leave in the past. CM Punk has moved on. He's in WWE. He's about to main event WrestleMania with Seth Rollins. The Young Bucks, they're going through a character change. Hangman Adam Page, you think that he's thinking about what happened at Brawl Out? Hangman Page wasn't even involved in Brawl Out. And then on top of that, you got Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is suffering from diverticulitis. You think he's thinking about that? Of course not. So why did Chris Jericho need to do this? It's something that did not need to happen, and it's honestly something that could have easily been avoided. Even though Jim Cornette doesn't have a leg to stand on, Chris Jericho had no right to do that, because all Chris Jericho did was pour more fuel into the negativity fire against AEW, and he took the spotlight away what should be a big weekend for AEW and he took that spotlight away from it on Christmas Day nonetheless. He came off like a juvenile.
It doesn't make sense. And it was something that could have been completely avoided. That's like you said, hey man, he's going through his... Hell, he even got thrown through a windshield. The Young Bucks, they're going through their thing. Kenny Omega, he's going through his thing. Like, you really think he's going to be thinking about that right now? No.
Why is Jericho thinking
that
about
was completely unsaid.
Why is Jericho thinking about it? Just because CM Punk's asshole Mark Lawyer came out on Twitter or X and started tweeting about it? Who the fuck cares? Just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. And you know what?
Do what I do. I seen it.
Yeah, it's something that I want to do too. I want to learn how to just keep on scrolling and not pay any of these fucking morons any attention. I really do. But regardless, I just needed to get that out. I needed to get that out because I really don't want to talk about that on the LFU on Saturday. I'm going to be live from the Rockaway Mall. I just want to have fun from the Rockaway Mall. But regardless.
And you deserve to have fun.
Thank you. Thank you. Now let's get into the actual card. So the actual card, I'm going to throw it out there. The actual card looks great. Great. Actually, really, really, really looking forward to seeing what they have going on.
That's the only issue I have with it. They only have like 2 women's matches. They should have that like at least a couple women's matches.
I don't really think that they need more than 2 right now. Two seems to be fine. 2 seems to be fine. And they're the 2 most important ones. Let's go over the buy-in matches first, or the 0 hour first. 20-man battle royal. Winner gets a TNT title shot at 0 hour. Now, they get a TNT title shot at a later date. The match is on 0 hour. They get a TNT title shot at a later date. So, to me, I actually believe that the winner of this match should be the new TNT champion later on, because I do not believe that Adam Copeland's going to beat Christian Cage. And we may as well talk about that match now as well. I don't think Adam Copeland's beating Christian Cage for the TNT title. I think that the main motive here is to enhance Christian Cage and enhance his TNT title reign. And that's ultimately going to result in Christian Cage's second victory over Adam Copeland. Then whoever wins this battle royale, I think should win the TNT championship at some point in 2024. And I would probably say maybe January or February, you can have whoever, whether it be Roosh, whether he wins it, or maybe Jay White win. I would not mind seeing Jay White win it. Maybe Takeshita. Maybe Takeshita wins it. I would not mind seeing Takeshita take the victory here. And I would not mind seeing Takeshita get the win over Christian. Although, if we're going to have something like this, realistically speaking, it should probably be a babyface. And Takeshita's clearly not a babyface. I don't know. Who would you have win? I don't know who's in it.
I don't either. That's why I'm over like that.
It just seems very odd to me. It's
like with WWE, they have the names listed or the people that's going to appear in it. But with AEW, they don't have it have it in who's going to be in it.
If anything, you could say that this match really isn't needed. But I don't know who wins. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good babyface. I'm trying to think of a really good babyface that would actually benefit.
I know who might. He's not a I don't think he's a babyface. I know who might be a good one. Buddy Matthews. I would not mind. I can definitely see that. That I would not. I've been paying attention to a lot of House of Black.
Yeah, I would not mind that. I'm trying to think like what's a good babyface that would benefit it from it. Obviously, Roosh is one of them. Roosh is definitely one of them. Obviously, you could. If Swerve wasn't fighting Keith Lee, I'd probably go with Swerve. Maybe it's Adam Page. Who knows? Maybe we get Adam Page versus Christian. That I would not mind. That I would not mind. Because that's
a match to happen. Christian and Hangman Page. I would pay to see that.
Yeah, I would not mind that. And if anything, if Adam Page wins it, Adam Page beats Christian Cage thanks to assistance from Adam Copeland. Adam Page wins the TNT title, and then we go forth with Christian Cage and Adam Copeland one last time at Revolution. That's how I see it
But
playing
then
out.
again, if it goes Christian and Page and let's say Copeland assists Page, you'd have to watch for Strickland because if they're still going on Strickland and Page.
I'm going to throw it out there. If MJF manages to go to 2024 with the world title, I think that Swerve Strickland's going to take the world title off him. Never mind the TNT title. Yeah, never mind the TNT title. But to me, I think that Page winning the Battle Royal and then fighting the winner of Christian versus Copeland, that right there would be a big money match. But who can you see winning the Battle Royal, and who do you see winning the no DQ match between Christian and Adam Copeland?
I'll go to the Christian and Copeland match first. I'm saying Christian not because I've been a bigger fan of him than Copeland, but because of how Cage his matches are. Like I'm going to use the example with Darby, how he has that certain mind skill he used with him, and plus he's using this whole heel gimmick, and like how he has currently the TNT Championship. But I'm gonna go with, I'd say maybe if he could beat him clean. If not, it may end in a DQ.
Who?
Of Copeland and Cage.
Oh no, it's a no DQ match. It's not going to end in DQ.
Oh,
it's a no DQ match. Christian's got to get the win. To me, Christian's got to get the win.
And I'm not saying that just because I'm a big fan of Christian.
I mean, I am. Right. He's the patriarch. Patriarch of AEW. Gotta love it. Let's go to the. I'm sorry, continue.
Because in WWE, Edge was the bigger one than Christian. So that's why I paid more attention to Christian, because Edge was in front of Christian the entire time, not giving him his own shadow or his own accomplishment. It's always been E&C, Edge and Christian.
Well, now Christian Cage, he's number one. Yeah, now he's the most talked about thing in AEW. Well, not really, because you got Swerve Strickland, but regardless. So our second 0-hour match, it's Hook versus Wheeler Yuta, FTW rules match for the FTW Championship. I'm looking forward to this. We already know that the youth of AEW is very, very strong. Wheeler Yuta, we all know how good he is. He's extremely, extremely underrated from an in-ring perspective. Hook, we all know how good Hook is, and I do believe that Hook is going to be a big star in AEW in due time. Not really sure where he fits in as we speak, but I'm looking forward to seeing what else Hook does going forward. Hook wins. Easily Hook wins. Hook takes the victory. There's no way that you're going to give Wheeler Yuta the FTW Championship. Should be a fun match. It's going to be chaotic. We're going to get weapons involved. Hook takes the win. Hook takes the win straight up.
Yeah, Hook has had a good title reign so far. They're not just going to have this match and then take it away from him.
Absolutely.
Based on his title reign, I'm going with Hook to retain.
Let's talk about the main card. We got ourselves an 8-man tag that was just confirmed by Tony Khan mere minutes ago. I kid you not. Tony Khan recently just announced an all-star 8-man tag team match for Worlds End. It's Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, Mark Briscoe, and Daniel Garcia taking on Brody King, Jay White, Jay Lethal, and Roosh. It's all of the losers of the Continental Classic, and they are fighting in an 8-man tag. Realistically, there's no substance here. This is just to get everyone on the show. I expect the baby faces. I expect Blackpool Combat Club and company to take the victory. Really nothing to it. Should be a decent little match, but this is just a match to get everyone on the show. Really unnecessary, if you ask me.
It really is.
Who gets the win? Yeah, I'll probably just say the baby faces. The baby faces get the win.
I'll go with that win, too. Because it really isn't necessary. But I can get it. He's putting people on the card. But I'm going with Blackpool to win.
Let's talk about the TBS Championship. It's Julia Hart and Abaddon. I'm going to throw this out there. This match is not a pay-per-view worthy match. This is not a pay-per-view worthy match. Not because Julia Hart's bad. Julia Hart is great, but
she's doing good.
I just cannot get behind Abaddon. Not because she's a bad wrestler. She's not a bad wrestler. I'm going to give her a little credit. Abaddon has gotten a little better in the ring. But the gimmick, it just doesn't work. All this spooky undead shit, the living dead girl type of garbage, it doesn't work. It's 2023. Going into 2024, this shit is not going to fly. We want more realistic type of shit. No one's actually going to buy into this shit. The Undertaker and all the gimmicks of The Undertaker and the Fiend Bray Wyatt and all that other shit, it needs to go away. It needs to go away. I truthfully don't even know why Abaddon is still employed by AEW. I'm going to throw it out there. I don't know why she's still employed. And I'm going to shut down all the rumors. People are trying to compare this shit to the House of Black. Let me tell you something. The House of Black, last time I checked, the House of Black aren't going around calling themselves immortal vampires. Last time I checked, House of Black is not going out there spitting up green goo. They're not going out there no selling moves. The House of Black is going out there and wrestling. The only supernatural thing about the House of Black is the lights go off and then the lights come back on and they're in the ring. It's the same thing with Sting. That right there is pretty much used by everybody. That right there is pretty much used by everyone. Lights go out, lights come back on, someone's in the ring. So we need to shut down that shit. But this match, really nothing more than a match just to get Julia Hart through another TBS Championship title defense. Julia Hart retains easily, no exceptions. And if I'm booking this, I'm going with Julia Hart versus Thunder Rosa at Revolution, and I'm giving Thunder Rosa the TBS Championship at Revolution.
Yeah, I can see that.
What about you?
Yeah, I can see Julia Hart retaining against Abda, but this really isn't a. I can see where you're going. This really isn't a pay-per-view match worthy. It's more like a Rampage, Collision. It's like one of the main shows, but not a pay-per-view match. But yeah, I can see where you're going. Julia Hart and Thunder Rosa. But then again, you also got to watch out for Sky Blue because she may go for that title.
Well, you see that presents a different element because Sky Blue, she's pretty much paired with Julia Hart now. So is that going to result in Sky Blue turning on Julia Hart, or are we going to see those two in a partnership going forward? And are they they're like kind of gonna be the managers for the House of Black, and then Thunder Rosa is going to be the TBS champion? Because if anything, with Thunder Rosa as the TBS champion, I can see Thunder Rosa taking that into All In and fighting Athena, and Athena becomes the TBS champion in London. That's just good.
Yeah, I can see that. I have a feeling they're going to do this partnership, Julia Hart and Sky Blue, and then maybe once Julia Hart loses that title, Sky Blue will turn on her.
Yeah, they could do that. I mean, the story is there. The story is definitely there to tell. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. This was confirmed for World's End. I'm going to throw this out there for you. They should have waited on this. Listen, is this a pay-per-view worthy match? Absolutely. But if anything, this match should have been held off till Revolution. There is a long, long story to tell between Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. And for them to blow this match at World's End, it just kind of feels like they're just doing this just to tie up loose ends. It doesn't even feel like they're giving the story enough time to breathe. This should have been the match saved for Revolution, with Revolution being the culmination of this storyline, with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland having promo battles back and forth. Now, could they do another match? They could absolutely do another match at Revolution. I would not mind if they do another match at Revolution. But if you're asking me, they shouldn't have blown this match at World's End, especially considering that it's only had, a 2-week build, not even at that. That's one thing that I hope Tony Khan learns. He needs to space out stories, and he needs to really let the talent develop their cases and develop their angles and develop the interest on TV. The match should have been saved for Revolution for me. And if anything, I can't see Keith Lee winning this. Maybe if they built it towards Revolution, I could have seen a potential Keith Lee victory. But if you're asking me, Keith Lee's going to lose this. There's no way you're going to have Swerve Strickland lose. He wasn't the one pinned last night on Dynamite. So Swerve Strickland's going to have to get that rebound win at World's End, unless you have a different strategy. What do you see that I'm not seeing?
Well, what I can see is, ever since I've seen that Full Gear match with Paige and Strickland, I can see how they're pushing Swerve. And then that match last night on Dynamite. Yeah, on Dynamite. They're not going to let Swerve take the spin. And if they do, it's going to be like a disqualification or something. Like, they're not going to pin him.
It really doesn't make any sense as to why Swerve would lose this. But should they have waited till Revolution? Like, in your eyes, should they have waited till Revolution?
They should have, because it feels like they put this match on too quickly. Like, I'm gonna go back to the Hangman and Swerve match at Full Gear. They took weeks and weeks and weeks in advance, even built that energy up of that feud, and they actually looked like they actually took their time and made that Texas Death Match. Which this one, Keith Lee and Swerve, it feels like they just rushed it.
That right there is probably the biggest problem with AEW right now, and it's the fact that, and this goes back to what I said before, Tony Khan is just doing too much. He's doing way too much, and he's overwhelming himself. He needs to hire a developmental team, hire a promotional team and a creative team that will help him going forward, and he should assign certain people to run certain shows, so that way we get a better sense of structure and we get a better sense of storylines on TV. That needs to be a priority in 2024. But I think we're Swerve Strickland across the board here.
Yes, he is across the board.
Okay. Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, AEW Continental Classic Finals. Now, I understand that people were initially upset. With Jon Moxley winning. Trust me, if it was up to me, I probably would have gone with Swerve Strickland too, and I probably would have gone with Swerve Strickland winning the entire thing. However, with Eddie Kingston winning the Blue League against Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston realistically has the best story in the entire Continental Classic. And Eddie Kingston, this has probably been Eddie Kingston's best year as a professional wrestler. And if you're going to have Eddie Kingston in his home state of New York beat Jon Moxley, I mean, he's already beaten Claudio, he's already beaten Yuta, he's beaten Bryan. All he needs to do is beat Jon Moxley, and he would have beaten every single member of the Blackpool Combat Club within a 4-month period. He beat Wheeler Yuta back in August. Then he beat Claudio in September. He beat Bryan here. And then if he beats Moxley, I mean, that's one hell of a year for Eddie Kingston. He becomes a modern American Triple Crown. That right there is the definition of creating a new star with Eddie Kingston. So if you're asking me, I got no issue with Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley being the final. I just hope that they tell the right story with Eddie Kingston taking the win and Eddie Kingston being that Triple Crown going forward into 2024 as the Triple Crown champion, and he'll just be doing his thing. We need to get him back on Ring of Honor TV to kind of make Ring of Honor a little bit more important, because right now Ring of Honor, it feels like AEW Dark 2.0, and we don't need that.
It does.
We don't need that at all, especially after the great Final Battle pay-per-view that we had and all the great matches that we saw on that show. But I got Eddie Kingston here. I'm going with Eddie Kingston. What about you?
I'm going to go with Jon Moxley, not just because they're, like you said, making Eddie Kingston like this whole almost brand new star and how he's almost beaten the entire Blackpool club. But basically on Moxley's experience and his matches, and I'm not saying that, oh no, Kingston don't have these, not at all. all. And I'm going to go for the build-up with Moxley.
I don't know. I think Eddie Kingston's story of the comeback kid. I think Eddie Kingston's story of the comeback kid is ultimately going to reign supreme. I'm just throwing it out there.
It's going to be a tough one, that's for sure.
We'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Let's move on to this is probably one of the matches that I'm looking forward to the most. Miro and Andrade El Idolo. We already know how good both of these guys are, and the entire match is built around the story of Miro's wife. Listen, if you put these guys in the ring any day of the week, I'm going to sit down and watch. Andrade, perhaps the best Mexican pro wrestler in many, many, many moons. Andrade right now is killing it. And ever since he came back, Andrade's been putting on some of the best matches in AEW all year, especially in this Continental Classic. Miro's self-explanatory. We all love Miro. I'm going to go with Miro to take the win here. And I am going to have Miro get the victory over Andrade. And ultimately, we could see CJ Perry. Maybe she aligns back up with her husband. It depends on which way they want to go, but I would like to see multiple matches between these two because these two have the potential to really put on a solid program. If anything, I would like to see this extend till Revolution. I would really like to see this extend till Revolution. Give me 3 matches. Just let them go out there and fight. I'm going to say Miro gets the win here. What about you?
I would pay to see 3 matches with him. I'm going to go with Andrade for the win.
Really? You think Andrade's going to take the first match if they decide to do a trifecta here?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. And what a storyline I could see is if Andrade picks up the win. I know they did a horrible storyline back when she was Lana and the whole Bobby Lashley thing, but I
don't remind me.
I know. I try to forget it, but you said that and it came back to me. But I could see not a lot like it, but I can see something like that with if Andrade gets the win. And then they go again, Andrade and Miro, and that's when Miro could get the win and CJ Perry could go to Miro's side.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as the Bobby Lashley Rusev storyline because, like, the relationship between CJ Perry and Andrade, it's not like romantic. It's strictly a manager business. It's strictly a manager-client relationship. So, I mean, if they want to go with that, maybe they could go with that. Do you see CJ Perry getting involved? Do you see CJ Perry showing up and getting involved?
I have a feeling she's going to. Maybe it'll be either to distract Miro or maybe to distract the referee.
Yeah, I can see that. How about the AEW Women's World Championship match? Toni Storm and Riho. I do believe that these two, you give them some time, I do believe that they're going to put on a damn good match. It's virtually impossible for Toni Storm to have a bad match. I can't remember the last time Toni Storm had a bad match. Cannot remember that whatsoever. Toni Storm, you allow Toni Storm to go in there and wrestle. She's going to put on a great match. Riho's not winning. Although Riho, I do hope that Riho is going to remain a staple on AEW TV because Riho, we all know, is very good. We all know she can go out there and wrestle. If I'm going to book this, I'd say Toni Storm takes the win. Toni Storm then defends the Women's Championship against Chris Statlander at Revolution. Toni Storm retains. We get the return of Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter returns, and Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm, they have their match at AEW Double or Nothing. Jamie Hayter wins the title back. And then, going into All In, we get Britt Baker turning on Jamie Hayter. We get the Britt Baker-Jamie Hayter match that we've been looking for a long, long time at All In. That's how I see the women's title playing out. And if Toni, TK, I know the people in AEW are listening. That's the best way to go. So what about you? Do you have a different route that they should go in for the women's title in 24?
I like that route, actually. I can see, because I haven't really paid much attention to Rico. Not because, oh, hey, she's a bad wrestler. No, just because she's not one that I can't see eye to eye with. Not saying that, oh, I hate her. No, I just can't see her eye to eye. But I can see her retaining against Riho, Tony Storm, and then the return of Jamie Hayter. They get that feud. Jamie Hayter wins the title, and then Britt Baker turns on Hayter, and then they get that match. And I have a feeling that's when Baker gets the title.
I don't think Baker's going to win the title. I don't think Baker's going to win the title. I would say that if Jamie Hayter should retain. Jamie Hayter retains against Britt Baker at All In. And depending on where they are, I can definitely see maybe Statlander getting a rematch against Jamie Hayter. Because I don't think that we've seen a legit Chris Statlander, Jamie Hayter match like we really should. And I do believe that if you put those two in the ring, I'd say that those two are going to absolutely tear the house down. Let's talk about the 8-man tag. We got ourselves an 8-man tag. There's 2 8-man tags. I don't know why there's 2, but lo and behold, there's fucking 2 8-man tags. Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Sting, Darby Allin versus Ricky Starks, Big Bill, Kyle Fletcher, and Powerhouse Hobbs. I actually thought that this was going to be a fatal 4-way match for the tag team titles, but this match clearly was not supposed to happen. This match wasn't supposed to happen because Kenny Omega unfortunately went down with diverticulitis. It was supposed to be Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega versus Ricky Starks and Big Bill. That didn't happen. It is what it is there. Again, really nothing of substance, kind of thrown together, and it was made to get everyone on the show. There's really nothing more to say. I'm saying that Sting, Darby, Jericho, and Sammy take the win. That's probably the best route to go. There's really no other route to go there. Not really sure why anyone thinks that the tag team champions, even though they're great, I don't think that Starks and Big Bill are going to take the win here, unless they want to have Starks and Big Bill and the Don Callis family take the win just to try and build some momentum for them. I don't know, but to be quite honest with you, it's not really going to be anything worth going back to rewatch. Even though I do think it's going to be great, I don't think that it's going to be anything to go back and rewatch. I'd say the babyfaces take the win. What about you?
That's what I'm going to go with is Sting, Darby, Jericho. I'll go with that win.
Well, let me ask you this. Regarding Sting, who can you see being Sting's last match? I can see Darby Allin. I would actually like to see Darby Allin versus Sting.
You just took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, I can see Darby. There's no other one I can see. And if they put Ric Flair as the point, because I know he's in the AEW, I'm like, nope, I'm not watching.
He'll be in his corner. He'll be in his corner. He'll not be wrestling.
Yeah, but like I said, if I see that match, nope, I will close it out. But yes, I can see Darby Allin going against him. Dude. Yeah, there's a lot of chemistry, respect. Yes.
We'll see what happens. I think it is going to be that feud built on respect. I feel like that's pretty much what they've been building towards. Like at some point, we got to see the Darby Sting match. We gotta. It's going to have to happen. I don't think it's going to be like a heel versus babyface match. I think it'll just be like built on respect.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'll tell you something that's not built on respect. MJF and Samoa Joe. This is our main event.
No.
And it's for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I'm going to throw this out there for you. I don't know where they're going to go. I honestly don't know where they're going to go. I don't know if – here's the thing. The devil, he's Adam Cole. It's got to be Adam Cole. It's got to fucking be Adam Cole. If Adam Cole is legit injured, then Samoa Joe is probably going to take the win here. Or unless they're going to have MJF retain and then Adam Cole is going to be revealed to be completely 100% healthy. Adam Cole is going to be revealed to be completely 100% healthy, and we move forward with Adam Cole versus MJF, possibly at Revolution, and that's your world title match. I don't know which way they're going to go. Listen, the first match that Joe and MJF had was phenomenal. The first match at Grand Slam was fantastic. But I do believe if they want to, I think that this match could top it. I do believe that this match could top it. It all depends on where they want to go. Does Joe win? I don't know. If anything, if Adam Cole's good to go, I would have MJF retain, and I would either give the win to Adam Cole at Revolution, and then maybe we get Adam Cole versus Will Ospreay at All In. Maybe. I wouldn't mind that at all. Maybe we see Swerve Strickland, like swerve his way on in. No pun intended. Maybe we see Swerve Strickland slither his way in. I don't know. What can you see happening? Because to me, this is probably the most unpredictable match on the entire show.
Except for the Devil, I think it's either I'm going to stick with Jack Perry or Adam Cole. Now, I can see MJF retaining unless, because I don't know which route they're going. But I could see if it's, let's just say, for Jack Perry, if MJF retains, I could see this new, Jack Perry, how he got rid of Jungle Boy. Yeah, I can see Jack Perry and MJF if it's not Adam Cole. Now, if it's Adam Cole, I can see the route that you said.
You see, here's the thing. Jack Perry is very good at what he does, but is he really ready for that role? Is he ready for that role? I don't sense that he's ready. I don't sense that he's ready for that role as a main event player. Not at least not yet. I don't think he could use another 2 to 3 years of developing. I just don't see him as ready for that spotlight. He doesn't come off as ready. Like Adam Cole, he's ready. Adam Cole's a main eventer any day of the fucking week. If it was Swerve Strickland, I wouldn't mind that either. If the Devil was Swerve Strickland.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I don't know, but are you going to stick with Jack Perry here?
Like I said, I'm in between Jack Perry and Adam Cole.
I'm sticking to my guns. It's Adam Cole.
I'm probably wrong with Jack Perry, but I'm just in between.
I'm gonna plant my flag. It's Adam Cole. It's Adam Cole.
Hey, if it was Swerve Strickland, I wouldn't complain.
I'm planting my flag. Swerve Strickland or Adam Cole, but I'm probably gonna lean towards Adam Cole. I think that's it. I think that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of The Rundown. I'd like to thank each and every single one of you for jumping on in, showing some support. You guys have been awesome. Thank you to James Punaseca. Thank you to Dee Dee. Thank you very much to Hooligram. Thank you very much to Billy. Thank you very much to Sarah Habka and Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. You guys have been awesome, and it was certainly a fun way to cap off the 2023 rundown. What did you just send me? I tweeted. Your phone did lose power.
No, I'm on my laptop, but it wanted me to log in, so I went to go click out of it, and then it took me out of the stream.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey, listen, you gave us a great memory for your first time on my show. Gave us a great fucking memory. But in all seriousness, Hannah, thank you very much. You have been a pleasure to talk to. You know your stuff. You know your stuff, and I'm very, very happy that you decided to take the time out of your day to enjoy one of the last days of 2023 with DJ Shizzle Dizzle. Greatly appreciate all the support. And that's one of my names. Have you not been paying attention? It's one of my names.
No, it threw me off.
So that's what I do. I throw people for a loop. But I cannot thank you enough for the support over the course of the last 4 years. Definitely means a lot. It definitely keeps me motivated, especially going into the new year. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all those links in the description. Hannah, one more time, where can everybody find you on social media?
You can find me on X at Cobain's Allen. You can find me on Instagram at Cobain's Allen. And if you want my Facebook, you can DM me.
Go check her out. Go check her out. She is awesome. And hopefully, maybe she'll be doing a show of her own in 2024. Maybe
Don't let them lie to you.
What?
I said don't let them lie to you.
God. But ladies and gentlemen, she's Hannah. I'm DJ Storms. And this has been The Rundown. But before we get out of here, we're not getting out of here just yet because there's a very important question that all must answer. No. Don't face palm me. Don't face palm me. No. Because there is a very important question that all must answer. Hannah, who runs the IWC?
I don't know. Please remind me. I've checked. DJ Storm.
You're damn right, baby. Who but DJ motherfucking Storms? And don't you ever forget it.
'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.